Hey there, guys. Me again. I'm back for a quick video here. I wanted to do this because I feel the need to discuss this. I planned on we planned on discussing this in a podcast, but I kind of wanted to get my own thoughts out about something that's coming up. Namely Captain America Civil War. Now, I know a lot of people might not care about this on here. People subbed for different reasons. People want to hear Dragon Ball stuff. People want to hear this or that, and that'll come. That will come eventually, but I'm thinking of a few things to do in that area. But right now, I just really want to talk about this because people who know me also know that this is an area that I find pretty important. And excuse me, actually had to borrow my nephew's microphone to be able to record this more clearly. I'm not 100% sure on how sensitive this thing is, so if you hear background noise, my apologies. The thing that I want to talk about, though, is specifically one of the things that's been bugging me about Civil War. Now, don't get me wrong. I am still extremely excited for this movie, very much so. But I've been thinking about it, and there are a few things. That I just I'm a little kind of. How do I say this? Leery isn't quite the right word because I don't think it's a red flag. It's just some stuff that's been said that I don't necessarily agree with. One is that the whole registration thing and them wanting to be put in check is the logical viewpoint, and honestly, it's not. In the context of the MCU, it's really not, because when you think about it, this is the same government that was infiltrated by Hydra. Okay, that they were being half run by Hydra. The government tried to put everybody onto a watch list for years, and Hydra was going to use that to take out its enemies, anyone who could be a threat to them and quote-unquote world peace. But then you have And I mean, that's just on top of the bureaucracy, and then you find out the reason. Okay, this is a mild spoiler, I guess, but it's been revealed by the people who are making the film, so I guess it's not something to care if people know. Tony is convinced to support this idea by a woman who lost her son in a recent skirmish. He was apparently collateral damage at some point, and she confronts Tony about it. And just the shock of it and the emotional impact of that is what gets him to support this the Accords, this registration idea. Now, what's amusing to me about that, though, is that some of the same people who were against that list of people who were potential enemies of, quote-unquote, the government, but actually Hydra, now suddenly want a list of people who have powers and want them to be forced to answer to and be accountable to the United Nations, of all organizations. And that brings up the interesting thing, too, and this is where the more moral and ideological side of things comes into play. What about people who got their powers through something that, wasn't their own choice? I mean, when you think about it, Iron Man, he sought his power. He made it out of necessity, but he chose to keep pursuing it. Captain America volunteered to get his powers. Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver, although Quicksilver's dead, volunteered for that experiment. Falcon, again, he was trained with that stuff. He knows how to use it. He willingly used it. Ant-Man, was kind of drafted, but he still chooses to keep being Ant-Man. Hawkeye and Black Widow, same thing. They're government agents, highly trained. They signed up for this. I mean, Natasha, sure, she didn't originally sign up for it. I'll give you that, but she chose to keep working in the field. When it comes to pretty much everyone, even Bruce Banner, volunteered for the experiment that wound up inadvertently creating his powers. But what about people who didn't want that? Banner'd be one of them, honestly, sure. I mean, he didn't want to turn into a green rage monster, but there it is. But people in the wider scope of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, people like Daredevil, Matt Murdock, he got his powers as a kid in an accident. If these accords had been in place then, would he basically be forced to be accountable to bureaucrats for that? Jessica Jones, she appeared to be born with hers. They just kind of manifested one day. Does that mean that she too should have to be accountable to these bureaucrats? Luke Cage got his due to an experiment done on him in a prison. But the one that really gets me, and the one that kind of bugs me here, is Peter Parker. And it took me a while to get to this. I'm not sure how I feel about Peter joining up with Tony in this movie, in the context of this movie. Now, let me explain that. In the comics, yeah, that's what happened. The problem is, it happened in the comics because Peter was Tony's employee. He was his mentee. He had been working with him already for quite a while when this broke out, and he did it to support his boss, to show solidarity. But part of him knew that he didn't necessarily agree with this, which is why when he finally saw what Tony was actually doing, he jumped ship real fast. But in the context of this movie, he doesn't have this pre-established bond with Iron Man that would make him choose that. Ideologically, one would think he would more naturally side with Captain America. So I'm a little confused about the motivation in this film. I'm a little confused about whether or not he's going to switch sides like he did in the comic. I mean, if he just sticks with Iron Man throughout this whole thing and never once even questions the morality of what they're doing, that's going to bug me a lot, because that is not Spider-Man, And it's one thing I was worried about when Marvel, said that they were going to be putting him in Civil War is, are they going to stick him on Iron Man's team? And if so, why? And they are, and now I really have to worry about the why. And, beg pardon? This is embarrassing. But now that the why is a thing, what do we do about that? Are they going to show that he doesn't fully agree with it to the letter? Are they going to try to play this off as his responsibility kick? If they try to play this up as a naive kid, that's going to bug me too. Because, but if they try to play this up as his responsibility thing, then that's really stupid, because that's not being responsible. That's subjugating other people. That's forcing people to comply. That's not asking people to be responsible. That takes away personal choice. That wasn't really something he believed in. So I do have my fears, and I just want to get that out there. Because, I know a lot of people, well, frankly, have accused me of being a fanboy. You don't worry about stuff with Marvel movies. You just take it all without question. No, I do. I worry plenty. You can ask Chris and Rob, who I do the podcast with. They'll tell you I am very vocal when I worry. If you follow me on Facebook, I'm very vocal about stuff. Twitter, pretty vocal there, but there's a lot of politics there, so if you don't want to get involved in that too, just blah. But I try to keep that separate from my YouTube stuff. But I'm very vocal about things that I see a problem with. And Marvel's no exception. DC is no exception, as you all know. But I just felt the need to get this out there, because I don't want to spend too much time on that podcast arguing about this either. and just wanted to kind of air this out and get it off my chest. That's about it for that. Just in a bit of a related news development, I think what I'm probably going to do is I'm probably going to be scrapping the plot of Dragon Ball Z series as it stands. Now, what I mean by that is instead of trying to go through it all, piecemeal, little segment by little segment by little segment as we go on, I think I'm going to cover arcs. Because the arcs, they'll probably be longer videos as a result, but the arcs themselves, I feel, will get it done faster. I don't have to try to make as much time to do that. But I can also cover a lot more ground, get to a lot more important points, I don't run into stretches like it was part of the reason I stalled on the series, where there are stretches that of nothing, Cases where, it's not necessarily nothing, but it's something that you kind of have to see. It's not a whole lot of plot so much as intrigue, like when they're dodging and hunting for the Dragon Balls and everything. That's something that the plot's not really advancing a whole lot, but stuff's happening in it, and it's kind of important stuff. But I just feel the need to kind of do this in clusters now. I think it'd be a lot better, and so you're probably going to be seeing that soon. The Dragon Ball villains, I am definitely going to be resuming. I will. And I think I might do the heroes as well, just because I think a lot of people don't get them either. So there's something to look forward to. I'm definitely trying to find a way to make time to do this stuff again. I kind of miss doing it. I'm a little discouraged, though, because it seems like no matter what I upload on here, instead of subbing here, people sub to my old channel, which I'll have an update on that at a later date. But yeah, also still planning to maybe try that live stream. We'll see how that goes. But that'll do it for today. And I'm sorry about the alarm going off, but I'm a little too lazy to actually try to take the time and force myself to edit that out. I'm sorry. This was supposed to be a quick video too, and it's already 12 minutes long. God help me, I ramble. At any rate, I will catch you guys later. Peace.